All right, and welcome to Big Purpose Mastermind. It is Friday. The culminating part of Clint Pulver Week is that we actually have Clint Pulver in the studio. We get to talk to him today. Super excited about this. If you have been tuning in all week, we've been going through his videos. We've been looking at what he's been doing to live his purpose, and it's just been remarkable. I'm going to review just a little bit of that as we jump into it, but I do want to just point out, if this is your first time, if you haven't come here before and you're kind of wondering what this is about, this is for anyone who feels like they have a purpose, they have a mission, they have a calling, something that is bigger than themselves to accomplish, and they don't know how to do it. What we are looking at is we are looking at masters of influence, people who are making a tremendous difference in the world. And we're looking at how they're doing that as kind of case studies. And Clint is one of those amazing people. So if you missed any of the episodes this week, you're going to want to make sure to go back to schoolofhumanity.tv. You can catch any of those episodes, hear what he has talked, well, what we've looked at, with his videos. But today, we actually have him in the studio. So, Clint, thank you so much for joining us, and super excited to have you here.
Yeah, it's an honor, Scott. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I have a couple of questions that I want to run through. So the first thing is what we talk about people who feel like they have a big purpose or a mission or a calling. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like, you have that? And how would you articulate yours?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. 100%, for sure. I don't know if it was really Mark Twain that said it. Everybody attributes it to Mark Twain. But I love that quote where he says that there's two important days in a person's life, the day you're born and then the day you figure out why. Yeah. And I have definitely gone through some chaos and craziness in my life to figure that out. But I can, with a surety, 100% say that I have figured that out for right now at this particular moment in time, in this particular chapter in my life. I feel like I am truly living my calling, living that purpose where I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, I'm very lucky.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Now, another question that I have for you, as I'm looking at a lot of video. I believe that video is like one of the greatest tools that we have to serve, sell, and scale. It's the way that we can really show up and help a lot of people in kind of exponential ways. Some of the things that I think are remarkable about you, like we looked at your Be a Mr. Jensen video. Like, you're a speaker, you're an author, you've just released a new book. And in doing all of those things, you use video to like add fuel to it. Tell me a little bit about your story with coming up with Be a Mr. Jensen. I mean, most people that are speakers, they will have like a speaker demo reel that shows them speaking and how amazing they are on stage. And I know that you've got that as well. But you took this story idea that's kind of your origin story, and you share that in video, and people can see it even in advance of them booking or seeing you on stage. So tell me, about why did you go with that narrative story, and what was the genesis of that?
Yeah, I think story always wins. We live by stories. We always love a good story, and all of us have a story to tell. You don't have to be someone rich or famous, every day there's little moments that create great stories. I think it's the importance of just being aware of those little moments when they happen, and taking the time to stop and be reflective and take a moment to record the stories when they happen, to record those moments. And for me, I had a story of a teacher that changed my life as a young person, and a lot of people wanted me to tell that story. And they kept asking me to tell the story, and I thought, man, why don't we videofy this? Why don't we videofy the story so that more people can hear that and see that? As a professional keynote speaker, a lot of us have our key signature stories. It's that one thing that happened to you, or you're the person that climbed Everest with no arms, or you went to the moon and back, or you just maybe overcame depression, or I don't know. We all have those different unique stories. And for me, that story of Mr. Jensen was one of those signature stories. And so I created a video and I storyboarded it. I directed it. I produced it. I cast it. I casted it. And had kind of this vision of what it could be. I think that I'm a big fan of micro learning. The TED style of speaking has shown us the impact and how popular that has become. Short, bite-sized, but also shareable content. And so we designed the Mr. Jensen video to not be a short film, but to really be a micro, little inspirational video that people could share. People could, they could take 2 minutes and watch, and hopefully we did a good enough job that they would then be willing to share that with other people. And that has totally been the case. And it has now over 19 million views across all of the different platforms that it's been shared. And we have never paid for any advertising. We've never paid to push that video. It's just organically been shared, and has hands down has been the number one best marketing piece of video content that we have, because people see that and they go, oh my gosh, I love the story. And we have little clips of in that video of me speaking. And then it just says my website at the end, and people go to the website and they inquire about the opportunity to bring me in as a professional speaker. So it's been single-handedly the best thing that we have done in our business, for sure.
Oh, that is awesome. I love that you did that. I work with a lot of speakers, and it seems like a lot of them are afraid to give up their signature story, like to have somebody see it in advance in a video, because they want to tell that on stage. But I love that you've got that courage that, hey, if somebody hears it in advance, that's great. That's even better, that they almost know you when you come and visit them.
Well, and the beautiful thing about this is I tell that story when I'm on stage, third person. So even though maybe the event planner saw the story, or, the conference administrator, or the CEO, or whoever it is that's bringing me into the event, they've seen that story, they've seen the video. But most of the time, the audience has not seen that. And so I come up on stage, I tell the story third person, they have no idea that I'm the kid in the story. And then we reveal the drums on stage, and nobody has any clue. And so it's one thing to see the story, it's another thing to experience the story. And that's been a huge piece of what we've been able to do is, you can hear it, you can watch the video, but it's a whole different experience to bring Clint in and to throw him on some drums and see the influence that Mr. Jensen had in his life. And it's been a powerful thing that we've been able to marry while also providing an experience, even though they've seen the video. Yeah.
Okay. I want to shift gears just a little bit. So you create amazing videos. The next one that we looked at this week was the Undercover Millennial. You just have a new book that's launched. This is about that book. Tell me about this video, how it came to be, what was involved with it. Like, your production value has just, like, you've kicked it up into high gear. It's amazing looking stuff. Love what you've done with it. Tell us the backstory of that one.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, I was a part of a mastermind group. We were in New York City meeting with other CEOs and executives, and one of the gentlemen that we met with owned a large sporting good retail store. And I was in the store, and we're talking to him about his business and his strategy. And he talked about how he's had to change that over the years to meet the demands of a market that's always changing as well. And then I asked him, what about your management style? Have you had to change how you manage employees today versus how you managed them 20 years ago? And he fired back and said, no, there's no need to change. And I thought it was so interesting that he felt the need to change how he did business, but there was no need to change how he treated people. And we're in the store in Manhattan, and I look around, and all of his employees are my age or younger. And I thought to myself, I wonder if they would say the same thing. I wonder if they would, sing the same tune, if they would have the same ideals as he'd had. So I thanked him for his time. We had 35 minutes to kill until we needed to be to the next place. I had nothing else better to do, so I walked up to the first employee and I said, hey, what's it like to work here? And the employee got really quiet, started to look around. I felt like we were doing an illegal drug exchange. And the employee said, man, I can't stand it here. He said, I literally feel like I'm a cog in the wheel. We're all cogs in the wheel here, dude. I don't even think my manager knows I'm here right now. And I remember thinking, well, then why are you working here? And he said, I've already applied to 3 other places. And then I went to the next employee and asked them the same question. And then another and another. And in the end of the 35 minutes that I had interviewed 6 of his team members. And in the end of those conversations, 5 out of the 6 of his employees said they would not be working for this guy and his store in less than 3.5 months. And that was a moment for me that I realized, oh my goodness, there's a gap between the reality of the employee experience versus the perception that leaders think and feel that they're creating for their teams. And so I created a whole organization based off of this, and we called it the Undercover Millennial Program. And so video has been an intricate part of this because I take in hidden cameras every time I do this. And I go undercover. It's kind of like Undercover Boss without the makeup. And I go in as someone who's looking for a job. I've used my age as a millennial to create an environment where people could speak their truth. And we've worked with 181 organizations, and I've been able to interview over 10,000 employees undercover. And we create small little video edits, and we blur out people's faces. We change their voices if needed. And then I show that in my keynote. It was a powerful way to use video to help emphasize a need for change, to help create a perception that so many managers don't see. And then we created the promo video that you saw that shows a little bit of that story, that shows some of the undercover footage, but it paints the picture. It shows the buyer, the event planner, the organization we're working with, there's value here. Oh my gosh, he's giving us a perspective that we are not getting on our company surveys. He's giving us a perspective that we don't get on a one-on-one management meeting. He's doing it differently and in a way that's going to help us thrive as an organization. And so the video does a really good job at showcasing that and showing the value of what we can do, but also now we just present on the research. And we just wrote the new book that you mentioned. It's called I Love It Here, How Great Leaders Create Organizations Their People Never Want to Leave. And we've combined all of that research into the book, and now we go and help organizations and train them on that research.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Hey, Clint, do you mind if I bring in a mastermind participant that we're working with?
Yeah, I would love that.
Is that cool? Okay, so this is Rolinda. She is part of Big Purpose Mastermind. She's been coming to these, and she has her own business, and she's got a few questions for you, and hopefully, maybe you've got some ideas that can help her.
Sounds great. Nice to meet you, Rolinda.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I have loved you. So I've really enjoyed how you've used video to grow your business. So here's my question for you. Right now, today, May 2021, who knows when people will be watching this, but if you had to start completely over, I'm assuming your main bulk of your money that you generate or work that you do is keynoting. If you were to start over right now with the current situation, with everything being very, very strange, how would you use video to really launch or start your whatever you would be doing? How would you be using video?
I would be using video, honestly, the same way I'm using video right now.
Okay, cool.
I would be using it to tell a powerful story. Mm-hmm. I would be still keeping it in a micro version, micro learning, making sure that it's something that's shareable, but making sure that it's also high production value. I've tried on every video that I put out, I want it to be top shelf. Great quality, good lighting, good storyboarding. Is it planned out? Is it thought out? Is it beautiful? Does it invoke some sort of emotion? That's what I would be doing. I would be figuring out how to tell the story of my business, how to tell the story of myself, tell the story of my product. Whatever it is that I'm trying to create and bring to the market, I would be using video to tell that story.
Cool. One of the comments you made, and this really stuck to me, was you're using video, but you're making it shareable.
Yes.
And so you believe that the high production value, the quality is more important probably than the quantity. Is that what you're saying?
For me, in my experience, yes. For me, it coincides with my brand. I want someone that's working with me or they're going to book me to know that everything we do is high quality. We care about the brand. We care about the messaging. We care about the video content. We care about the copy on the website. We care about the photography. I want everything to be a first-class experience. We try in our organization we have this theme of celebrity service. It doesn't matter if you're a startup company or you're a Fortune 500 company. If you work with us, you are going to get celebrity first-class service. So I want everything that we put out to represent that. Even what we're doing in the virtual space. We've literally dedicated thousands and thousands of dollars to making sure that we can put on a high quality performance. That means using multiple video cameras. We've got the drums live in the studio so we can provide an experience for people. Having that level of quality, having something to strive for that is the very best that we can give, has allowed us to really thrive. But also it gives people the assurance when they work with us that they're going to get what they pay for. They're going to get a quality experience, a message, and an opportunity when they work with us.
Awesome.
I value that so, so much. But what would you say to somebody who doesn't have a budget bankrolling? Like, if you lost everything today and you had to start over and you didn't have all your equipment, what would you do?
It's amazing what you can do with a cell phone and a $25 ring light off of Amazon. You do the best with what you can. And if you've got a limited budget, do the best you can with that limited budget. Because here's the thing. Again, if you're trying to be in the world of business, you have to consider the market. Always. Yes, you need to be conscientious of your budget, but the market will always speak. Always. It always speaks. And you're in a world, especially in my instance, in the professional speaking world, where there's a lot of speakers. The barrier to entry to become a professional speaker is literally non-existent. Anybody can put on LinkedIn, I'm a professional speaker. And you could be. But to consistently stay booked, that requires a ton of work. It requires a ton of effort. And so quality matters. Do the best you can so that the market deems you valuable. And that's based off of a lot of things. Your messaging, your video production, your website, the problem that you solve. Who are you speaking to? How well are you on stage? Can you tell a good story? All of those things help you to become more marketable. So start where you are and try to start with the best quality that you can. And slowly but surely build from there. And be willing to invest in your business as well. There's been many times where we've upgraded cameras or lights, or we've learned, okay, this is something that we could do that would help us to, again, create a better experience, to be more marketable. And in doing that, we have remained relevant.
I love that.
Thank you
hey, Relinda, thank you so much for coming and asking your question there. And Clint, I'm going to just kind of mute you off there. Well, not you, Clint, though. You're still on. But thank you so much for sharing what you have done. I know that you're super busy, and it's been awesome to be able to look at your different videos all week, kind of evaluate those. I love that story is involved in every one of those. I love that you've got respect for story and that you're using that and different unique ways of presenting it with video. Anyway, I think you're just remarkable with that. Now, before I let you go, though, I want to just let anybody else that is watching this know that, that if you would like to catch the rest of the interviews that we've done, well, not the interviews, but the case studies that we've done with Clint, just go to schoolofhumanity.tv and you can scroll down and we'll have his episodes in there. You can catch past episodes of other Masters of Influence that we've got in there. It's there for you, just schoolofhumanity.tv. So with that, I wanted to once more honor you, Clint. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing your insights, and thank you for showing that it's possible to actually get your message out and everything. Actually, I do have one last question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, great. Sure.
Okay. How long did it take you, to really get launched? When you did the Be a Mr. Jensen, that helped you propel you. But how long? I know it wasn't a rags to riches, instant success kind of thing. But how long did it take? And were there any kind of trajectory points that you would say this part of the video or something, helped with that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think having a promo video was very significant, especially in our industry. As professional speakers, I don't know of another industry where somebody would pay another human thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars based off of a 2-minute video. Video really plays such a critical part into what we do. And I think that's why we've emphasized in making sure that all of our video is high quality. Because many times people have never seen me live on stage. They're solely basing their decision to book me based off of my promo video, what they watch in that 2 minutes. And so for me, when I quit my job and I jumped into this industry, I announced it to the world. I told everybody, listen, I'm quitting my job. I'm jumping into this full-time as a professional speaker. If you know anybody that is hiring or looking for a speaker, I want to be a part of that, because I needed the footage. I needed the footage. And I also believe in this statement. It's called rookie mode. Liz Wiseman talks about it in her book. But to stay in rookie mode, and I went to people as a rookie and I said, listen, I'm just trying to get in this industry. What would you pay somebody $3,000, $4,000 to speak about for 1 hour? And then I listened to those people. And I took the time to craft a message that met their needs. And then I took that information and I went back to them and I said, hey, listen, I really appreciated your feedback. And I've created a message that I think would bring value to your team. Is there anybody that I could share it with? And those individuals became my first clients. And they also became the foundation for my youth promo that I still use to this day, that we created almost 4.5 years ago. And so the point is when you get those opportunities to speak, I invested in quality footage. And then that allowed me to quickly put together a promo video, which then expedited the opportunity for me to showcase a product. So then I could reach out to associations. I could reach out to people that were booking speakers. And then they would always ask, well, how do we find out more? Well, do you have a promo video? Do you have a website? Yes, I do. And I was able to send that to them, and it showed credibility. It showed quality. It showed an experience. And that has threefold grown our business. And then we've created literally a promo video almost every year since then to stay fresh, to stay relevant. And as we've grown as a business and as the economy has changed, our message has changed. And so our video needs to showcase that. And so it's been a constant evolution, but over time, little by little has made a lot.
Awesome. And if you haven't seen Clint's videos, especially his promo video, you can find that at clintpulver.com and find out a lot more about him there. You'll also find the Mr. Jensen video there. Clint, thank you so much for coming, and everyone watching this, thank you very much. Just jump into schoolofhumanity.tv to catch the rest of the week. So with that, we'll sign off with our close. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.